and deliver a performance the manager would be proud of. And the lads certainly delivered that. I thought we were really aggressive on their press, especially second half. Played some, excellent football at times. And we scored 4 good goals, so super proud.
I'm just playing with a smile on my face at the minute. I'm just enjoying being out there every week, and I think that's sort of reflected in my performances. I love playing football. I love scoring goals, and when you're doing that, you can't help but enjoy it. So that reflected in my performance. I think the team as well. Scoring 4 goals, it's always a good day at the office. So really pleased.
We are doing a lot of mistakes in certain games that give confidence to the opponents, give goals, and then it's hard to cope with everything. They opened the score, and then they took control of the game. We scored the draw, but then second half, suffering in the second play of the game is hard for our team, and we did a lot of mistakes.
Can you tell us what the latest is with Eddie and whether news of the way that his team have played today will be able to give him a lift?
I'm sure it will give him a lift. He was able to watch the game. I just received a message from him before I came in to do the media. So he was pleased, congratulate everyone on the work, and I'm sure it'll be a performance and a result that will hopefully put a smile on his face.
Yeah, good to hear some positive news on Eddie Howe there, and of course all our best wishes to him and his family for a speedy recovery. Danny, when you watched that game though, did you feel like Newcastle sensed today if they went after Manchester United they could really get at them and get the result?
Absolutely, they sensed their vulnerability. It was high risk, high energy, great tenacity, and at certain times they just went after them man for man, especially early, all over, as you can see here, matching up, which is a risk against good players. This is well organised, good communication. It's real passionate play from the Newcastle players. You can tell how much they want it. Early in the game, little warning to United, they're not going to be able to play out. Not the best ball from Isak there, but a little warning. The goal, actually, Xerxes is centre forward. Look at United trying to play out. They've got no one to play to. They're dropping off too deep because they're getting pushed back. They did have a couple of decent passages of play, United, because they've got good players. And every now and again they do play out. But here, it's too condensed. They lose the ball because it's all too short and too intricate. And when the ball comes in to Isak, it's a wonderful little pass. Tonali runs off the back of Yoro, and it's a brilliant finish. But at time and time again, this happened, and it was the same in the second half, Dion, wasn't it?
You know what it is as well, when you try to play this way, if you've got one player that's asleep or one player that doesn't want to do it, then it's not going to work. All black and white shirts today, Dan, were on the same page. Manchester United did get out a couple of times, they beat the press, but then they've got nobody up front, so they struggled, and they gave the ball away in silly positions like this. And Barnes was on fire, Joe Linton was on fire, Isak was on fire. So when they got a sniff of goal, a sniff of the white post, they would shoot or they'd pick out the right pass. And you can see United here, Bruno's had the chance just to turn that defence, but he hasn't, and he's lost it in a really bad area. That happened all game.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about the keeper in a minute, but this is all due to the pressure of Newcastle. Putting pressure on the goalkeeper, and every one of the defenders causes mistakes when they win it back. That high line there for Newcastle, United have got to go long on occasion. Play some percentages.
Have a breather.
Turn them round, and that gets some runners. It's poor game management individually from the players in the game. Big topic recently, are players too robotic? Are they listening to the manager too much? Make some decisions that influence the game positively.
You take the information onto the pitch by the manager and you try and play that to the letter. However, when you're in a situation where you think, I've got to do something here, you go safe, which is long, out the way, get up the pitch, simple as that.
You mentioned it then, bit of a issue in that position now?
A little bit, yeah. I think it was the right thing to give Onana a breather. He was letting his teammates down too often. Bayondia has done all right. He did particularly well in the Arsenal game, cup game, didn't he, earlier in the season? So if you're a manager who never gives the reserve keeper a chance when the other one's really struggling, he's going to be asking questions. He gave him a chance today, didn't cover himself in glory. So what does he do for the big one midweek? We'll have to wait and see. But it's a huge problem for United moving forward. It
is, and your defenders change the way they play.
Yeah.
We've seen Liverpool tonight, how confident they are with Alisson. When you've got a keeper behind you, you're not quite confident with, he's the pass, but you don't want to pass it to him, so you're forcing something. Everything changes as a defender.
As for Manchester United overall, Ruben Amorim there talked about mistakes, but you don't think it's just down to individual errors that Manchester United's problems are coming from?
I mean, there are individual errors, but it's certainly not just that. I still think tactically they're wrong with the players they've got. Their options up front are really limited, and that's down to the manager, the tactical plan, and the motivation of the players and the players he's picking. Now, there is today a little bit of, I wouldn't say get out of jail card with the midweek game coming up, because he did have a few on the bench who might normally start, and they've got to prioritise midweek because they can't do anything in the Premier League. But that is an abject performance from Manchester United side. It really is, Paul.
It's really difficult, though, to rest players because you've got a big game midweek and then you lose a game and then you're going into that game with a bad feeling or a loss under your belt, whereas you think, well, hold it a minute, if I use these players and we get a win, you're not tired. Danny will tell you, when you're winning, you don't get tired.
Yeah.
OK, well, moving on then, and Ipswich beat Chelsea 2.
At the end of the first half, and then the second half just seemed to be completely detached from what you've done in the first half.
Yeah, when we suffered the second goal in the beginning of the second half, we went down, and we need to be better in these moments. We need to control it. We cannot. They are already a really good team, but then with all the mistakes that we make during the game, help the opponent to win confidence and to win the games.
It was a pretty tough day for Alside. I think 4 goals, and obviously that 4th goal was hard for him. What he was saying to him.
I think I'm going to continue to do the same. We are going to analyze the game, but we need to focus on the next one. We cannot change this one, and the next one is massive for us. So let's focus on the next one on Thursday to play better and to win the game.
You obviously made a lot of changes today. That was obviously a calculated risk ahead of Thursday. Any regrets about that?
No, nothing, because we did mistakes and they were better. Even if we put a different 11, we don't know the results. But then we had to make choices, and we played 3 days ago. So, and you can see with Josh, he was fresh, but he had some problem. So sometimes we need to make choices, and then we don't know the results, even with a different 11.
Sorry. When Josh came off, did you have to start prioritising the second game against Lyon? Did you make a couple more changes?
Yes, I will try to. I was waiting for 60 minutes more or less, but then with one stop, I was getting a little bit not afraid, but trying to avoid any more problems.
With the goalkeeper situation, would he be back in consideration to start against Lyon?
You guys have to wait. We are going to start the next week tomorrow, and then I'm going to choose the best starting 11 for the next one.
Mr. Amorim, this result means Manchester United have the lowest Premier League points of the season in this year. How did Man United go from here? On Wednesday you said we have one extra second on the board to complete the game. Newcastle made sure you didn't have an extra second. How do you build?
No, the first part of the question is the reflection of our season. So we need to accept that and to move forward and try to do things so much better in the future to don't have this kind of season. And then you can see some goals that they were doing high pressure, and we lose the possession in some moments, in some spaces that we cannot lose the possession. So we need to improve in a lot of things, and again, our position is the reflection of our performance this season, and we have to accept it.
Hi Ruben. At times there were some decent moves that you put together today. Can you take positives after a result like that from the better football you played?
It's really difficult to look at the best things. The best thing is to focus on the next one, analyze this one, but it's really hard to be here after this result and to try to see. Maybe in few days I will watch the game and try to take that. But in this moment it's really hard to have any feeling of a good feeling about the game.
Last question, Rich.
Harry Amas made his first start today. What did you make of it?
I think he did. I think he did quite well. He catch a player that is really fast. He made his debut in maybe one of the hardest stadium with one team that is really in the good moment. I think he did really well. So he needs to continue, and we need to help all these young kids to perform in a higher level.
Thank you.